Welcome. I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me on today. My name is Rachel Eskridge. I serve as the Director of Community Engagement at YWCA, Oklahoma City.
Tell us how you have engaged with Honestly and the collaboration.
I was joking around with Tasha last night because I've been a part of it since before you existed. Many years ago, I had the opportunity, I was working with a different agency, and an individual there said, "Hey, I'd love you to come to this meeting." No idea where I was going. And it was about teen pregnancy prevention. Now, YWCA Oklahoma City, we are the Domestic Violence, Sexual Assault, and Stalking Crisis Center. So those two things go together, but we don't have like a position specifically addressing that. And so as the violence prevention director and coordinator, I had a variety of titles, throughout the time, I kind of fit because I worked with youth. And so I would go to these meetings, and then we honestly was able to develop this additional position that became this backbone structure to these meetings to help facilitate them and to help facilitate the work of all these outside agencies working together. And so I got to be there from the beginning and watch how it started and to be a part of it, and was blessed by all the different pieces that came from it.
The YWCA was a part of our cohort, Tier 2 cohort, which was teen pregnancy prevention. Tell us a little bit about your work with us on that.
YWCA definitely was a part of the Tier 2 cohort, and it was amazing because the way that Oklahoma does prevention in this state is very limited and very unfunded. Whenever I was doing sexual violence prevention, I was the only one for the entire Oklahoma County. And so I was alone in this message. And so them bringing me in for Tier 2, I received training, I received additional support and cohorts and a team. Now I had the rest of the team in the state who did what I did, but they were throughout the whole state. Yeah. And so this became the metro area of us sharing a common language and a common goal. And it was amazing being a part of this team and the support that I got from it.
Why is collaboration so important to the work that you do?
The truth is we could not do the work we do without collaboration. One of the most important pieces and conversations we've had throughout the last 10 years is understanding these underlying risk and protective factors that affect the community that we live in. And if we're looking at a full cultural shift, right? If you can't just say, use a condom or don't sexually assault someone. These things, these messages don't work. So we've got to understand what is leading to the perceptions, to why we have high risk behavior, why we have teen pregnancy, why we have sexual assault, and those underlying risk and protective factors.
You chose to take on a leadership role within the collaboration in our advisory council. What prompted you to make that choice?
Sexual violence prevention has become a core belief. I have children, I have siblings, I myself, and all those that I worked with over many years. I believe you can prevent violence. I believe our culture needs to recognize it and change it. I believe that sexual health prevention is absolutely a part of a cultural shift that our youth, our future, can live in a world where they know that they have bodily autonomy. And in order to do that, I felt like I had to come in a leadership position to bring this different perspective of that sexual assault, that sexual violence prevention, and tie it to sexual health prevention. So we have this whole person who can have that bodily autonomy, who can then make good, healthy, positive decisions about the future.
So this past year, Oklahoma County has seen millions of dollars lost in federal funding, specifically around sexual health, teen pregnancy prevention. So funding is important to continue our work. What are some ways, though, before those federal losses that honestly has financially provided support for your programs?
Honestly came in with their Spark grant and with there was another one that we did, and with that funding, we were able to actually create some products and some programming and some videos and do some trainings that we would not have been able to do with the funding streams that we'd already acquired. Because like you said, in our world, in the sexual violence world and the domestic violence world, that funding has been going away for multiple years. And we've been streamlining because, of course, then the necessity would be to take care of those who have already been harmed. And we have to put all the funds there first. And so being able to do these creative projects and to do these additional trainings and to learn additional pieces, such as the sexual violence. One of the funding streams that we got from you all was recently another training that we were then able to come in and train our staff about sexual health prevention, because it's amazing whenever we have a young staff of a lot of college students, how many of them haven't been trained appropriately about their body, about autonomy, about their own sexual health. And for lack of a better term at the moment, there's so much more to discuss in there. And so that would have not been something we could have done before. And it was something that had been requested multiple times. And so with the funding and the support from Honestly, and the training we received from you all, we've been able to not only better those that we take care of, but our own staff. So then again, they can take care of those in the community. So we just couldn't do a significant amount of what we did at the last few years with our projects without your support.
So what are some of the results that you're seeing? What are the people that you are helping saying?
So one of the results I have personally seen from the trainings and from the support that you all have given is, it's really interesting. In the past, I would come in and teach about consent and bodily autonomy, and it would be this absolutely brand new concept, and people had no idea what I was talking about. And now I'm seeing youth, younger and younger, openly talk about not only consent, but pleasure and understanding and their body types and knowing what is allowed and not allowed for their own body because they've been taught it. And it's become a safe word to talk about. Consent and bodily autonomy is now a respected concept, not only among the youth, but their parents. And it's given them something that they can talk about together. Now, that's not completely widespread, and I can't wait till it is, but it's no longer a brand new topic when I go into these spaces to either talk with caregivers or youth. And now we're able to start talking about the next level. And honestly, I didn't think that I would see that as fast as I have. And it's an amazing thing to see.
So what are people saying about your program specifically?
So some of the things that they say about our program specifically, first is with the caregivers, I wish this existed when I was a kid. That's huge. And then the next step is, I can't wait to talk about this with my teenager. One of the coolest things was I met with an adult and she said, my child came home from your classroom and immediately went and talked to their younger sister about how to be safe, how to stand up for themselves. What does a boundary mean? What is consent? And why that's so important. So we actually have youth talking to other youth. And so they're saying how valuable this is, that we're changing this culture. And so they're saying it's necessary. They're saying it's important. They're saying they wish that there was more of it, of course, because we just don't teach this on a statewide. It just doesn't exist, and it definitely isn't at a national level yet. And it's something that they wish that we could continue, and that they wish we could create more change.
Yeah.